Snapchat down big after revenue growth is off the table. Coming up here in the jog. Hi folks, Alex Klingelhoeffer here with Exencial Wealth Advisors. It is 8:06 here in the middle part of the country on Friday. Happy Friday to you. It is October 21st, 2022. Here's your morning jog around the economic headlines of the world. I want to talk about Snapchat, not something I talk about a whole heck of a lot, social media and the like. Down more than 25% here before the bell on Friday. Why? Well, they say they're not going to make any money in Q4. At least their revenue growth isn't going to go up. All hands on deck for the social media company. Guess what, folks? Not great news. TikTok eating into them, right? Twitter's down on some must stuff. Really not a great day to be in social media. Here's the thing. They've been growing headcount by like 30% year over year, have some really ambitious goals. They say we just got to get through whatever's coming up next in the next 18 months. If there is a recession, we need to have less payroll and stay solvent while we can. So Snapchat, we will see if that works out for them. Not great news on the social media front. Not great news on the traditional media front either. Verizon, just with some really weird profit slide here. Revenue up, subscribers up because although customers left them, they raised their rates. They had some customers come on from the business side, right, from the enterprise side. They're just losing out to AT&T. They're losing out to T-Mobile. They're losing out to Cricket. They're losing out to all of these lower cost providers. When everyone's network is pretty good, the Verizon advantage kind of slips away, especially when you're talking about areas of the country where you really used to not have anybody but Verizon that could serve you. Think the Southeast, along the interstate corridors there. They built up this huge 4G network and had tremendous profitability. Now everybody has access to those networks, and it's not looking too great. On a go-forward basis, Verizon still continues to make money. It's still a very profitable company, but you don't like to see them losing customers hand over fist. Last but not least, and by the way, spoiler warning, a little bit of an interruption here. This is going to get really finance nerdy, but it's important, and I'll be talking about it more in the next 6 to 9 months. U.S. Treasury is thinking about buying back some of their bond issuances. They're having some trouble with liquidity on the back end of the Treasury curve. What does that mean? That means that bonds that are, let's say, 20 years old or so, right? When we say 20 years, right, they have 20 years till maturity, right? Maybe we're 30 years issued 10 years ago, that sort of thing. They're having some trouble with liquidity now that the Federal Reserve is really releasing a lot of bonds, about $60 billion a month, back into the market. Prime dealers like JP Morgan, like Goldman Sachs, are having trouble creating liquidity in that area of the market. If the Treasury does start buying back some of those bonds and then reissuing that debt that's sort of on the run or really shorter dated Treasuries, that could potentially give a market to where one is drying up. Remember, one of the most important things about U.S. Treasuries is they're always, 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 always liquid. You can always find a buyer for them. If they are espousing some concerns, and by they I mean the federal government, are espousing concerns about liquidity on the back end of the curve, that means that debt that's priced off the 20-year U.S. Treasury, like long-term corporate debt, other nations' debt, right, that becomes even more liquid because you can't pair trade it against the U.S. 20-year. That becomes a systemic issue, and that is kind of alarming. Normally, I don't say things are alarming. That's kind of alarming. If we have any part of the U.S. Treasury curve that becomes illiquid, that's an issue for the global financial system. Not good. I'm not a fearmonger, but we need liquidity in U.S. bonds no matter what. If you want some additional info throughout the weekend, feel free to find me on the internet. I am out there. Until then, you, your family, hope you have a good weekend. I am out.